Good afternoon. Welcome back. See, the whole idea of coming to the conference is basically networking, meeting you all. Presentation is just a way of doing that, so that I introduce some points to you, you can think about it, and we can have more discussions about it during the next few hours, which we are going to spend here. Interestingly, if you look at the scientific publication, it is like it's very difficult to pinpoint an area where you need to know much, because usually you don't get to see much information available, and if you go to your best friend Google, a lot of information is there, but you really don't know how much information is authentic nowadays. That is also a big issue with this in the era of artificial intelligence. So to keep it simple, I will talk about elements of scientific publishing, but we will keep only talk about one aspect of it. And if you have any questions after the presentation, I am here. Anyone happy with Springer? I am happy to meet them. Anyone angry with Springer? Please come to me. This is the best time because I am here and you can meet me. So the whole objective is basically to have discussion, because as I said in the morning also that collaboration is the key. And when you are in a conference and you are physically present, then it makes more sense that you talk to people, you network with people. I must say CSMI, I don't know whether they have chosen this deck looking at this or not, but today is World Day of Cultural Diversity. 21st May, UNESCO is celebrating this. We have a very diverse audience over here. 457 papers submitted by 17 countries. So obviously it's a diverse thing. And it's an international conference in true sense. So let's celebrate this day as a day of diversity and move ahead. A little about the organization I am coming from. This is an organization started by this gentleman, Julius Springer, in 1842. So we are almost 180 years plus. The company started as a small bookshop in Berlin, where people used to come to buy books. The whole idea of publication came to the mind of the bookseller in a way, because a lot of people were doing self-publication at that time. Conferences were very, very different. It was not like this, that you are coming to a conference, presenting your paper, and eventually it is published in proceedings. No, it was not. People used to come to the conference, they used to present, take feedback, go back to their house, and then again apply to journals, or they used to do self-publication. So that period, Julius Springer came with this idea, why not present or publish something coming from different Nobel laureates or senior scientists, especially in Germany and that part of the world. Eventually it became global. When you talk about publication, then you need to understand also how it all started. Which university is the oldest university? Do you have any idea? Which is the oldest university of the world? Which is the oldest publisher of the world? Which publisher is the oldest publisher? Any name which is coming to your mind? Good afternoon. any name which is coming to your mind? Any publisher? Obviously it's not Springer, I can tell you. Someone different publisher. Not McGraw. I lived there at this point of time. That's a hint, that's a clue. It's Cambridge University Press. They just completed 490 years, and this is how everything started. We are just about to reach 200. But this whole thing changed very dramatically. If you go 355 years back, journal publication started. So book publication started much before journal publication. And then came journal publication. And journals are like, now you are finding a lot of journals mushrooming every day. And it is a task or a difficulty, challenge to find which journal is the best journal, which journal is the suitable journal. So importantly, you have to devote time in reading. Reading is something which is very important when you are engaged in research. 1 hour every day. So 365 days, 365 hours, no Sundays. This is something which is needed. If you are devoting that much time, definitely you don't have to give 2 hours a day, it will help you. And interdisciplinary reading. You have to read interdisciplinary, you have to read more, you have to read different styles and different aspects so that you grow with publication. We have our offices in different parts of the world. We started in Berlin. Right now, the biggest office is in London, where I work. Our biggest editorial office is Heidelberg in Germany. Our corporate office is still in Berlin. And there are many, I think, from 50 more locations we are operating right now. And since morning, I am getting a lot of advice to open an office in Durrës or maybe in Albania. I'm going to take the feedback of my management, but I cannot assure you that we will have an office very quickly over here. But definitely we need something in this work part of the world where you can engage and join. Some numbers, numbers always gives you more perspective about it. You get to know the things well, how it works. If you look at these numbers quickly, you will see these are the numbers of 2024, not even 2025. If you look at this number over here, 2.3 articles, 2.3 million articles submitted to Springer for journal publication. I'm here talking about only one publisher and only one mode of publication, journals. You can see 2.3 million articles we have received. So you can very well imagine with so many publishers all around the world, how many papers are getting generated each year. Out of those 2.3 million articles, we published 482,000 articles. And out of those 482,000 articles, 50% articles are open access. I hope you know what is open access. Open access means the author has to pay to publish their work. It's an author pay model where the reader can download the whole content without paying anything. That is, the content is open. But as you know, there is no free lunch. Someone has to pay. So who is paying? It's an author pay model. Author never pays, to be very honest with you. It's either the institution or the funding body or sponsors, they pay and you publish it open access. We are moving very quickly to this type of mode of publication, and I request you, always, whenever you are trying to publish your work, look for open access publication. At least ask first. When you ask, then you get. If you are not asking, nobody is going to come to you and give it to you. Sometimes it's just a partial thing. Maybe they say, okay, we will give you 30% funding. Maybe not more than that. Still, it's better than zero, right? You can take some money from your project, you can take some money from your guide, you can put some 30% which is a discount, and then there is a possibility. Why open access is important? Because open access dissemination is very, very tight. The topic which I am going to talk about today is basically the ethical issue, and then I will talk about some author services which quickly I will just share with you, so that if we talk about author services and scholarly tools, there are many. With this AI world, there is no end to it. I will quickly tell you about some. Some you can go to your Google and you can see for yourself. But ethical issues is very close to my heart because I believe, and especially in this AI era, I believe ethics is the most important thing when you are doing research. If you are not doing ethical research, then obviously you are harming the community rather than doing anything for the community. And that is a dangerous thing when we are so much dependent on online content. Copyright. I hope you all know the meaning of copyright. The biggest problem the industry faced, the biggest problem is the music industry, which faced this issue. We are also facing a lot of issues. English is a very, very funny language, or a very interesting language in a way. You just put a small space and the whole meaning changes. You just put a space between copy and write. No, it is not right to copy. But copyright, why I want to tell you about copyright, I'm not going to tell you about the definition over here. The important thing I want to highlight is, if you know Pope, very well. If you don't know Pope, please go to Pope website today. Pope is a body, all the good publishers are members of this body. And Pope has some guidelines which all good publishers follow. Pope guidelines are followed for dealing with any kind of unethical issue. Whether it's our company, whether it's any good publisher. So if you know Pope, if you go there, if you see those guidelines, because for knowing any industry, for knowing any kind of job, not only publication, you need to know the rules and guidelines well. If you don't know the rules and guidelines, it is not possible for you to act ethically, act honestly, act smartly. So it is very important that you go to Pope and see what exactly is available there. Next thing is retraction. What is the meaning of retraction? Anyone can tell me what the retraction means? Yeah. What is the literal meaning of retraction? Good afternoon. Yeah. What is the literal meaning of retraction? Taking away or taking down or removing, right? This is the meaning of retraction, removing something. This whole concept was introduced with electronic or digital publication. Before this, there was no retraction as such. With digital publication, there is a possibility that we can remove if something unethical has happened. With hard copy or print publication, there is no possibility of doing that. So we try to look for a reason why there is retraction. Now, if you look at that reason, 40% is honest error. Now, what is the meaning of honest error? That means someone is committing an error, but they are not aware of it. They are doing it, but they are not consciously aware that they are doing an error. They are committing a mistake. And that is happening because you don't know the guidelines. You are lacking some knowledge about the rules. And that is possible when you go and read those guidelines and rules, like in code. Fabrication and falsification, this is something which has come after the internet, mostly in last 25 years. Everything is available online, so you can go there, copy something and put it over there, fabricate it, falsify it. This is almost 28%. Redundant publication is self-plagiarism. Self-plagiarism means that you have already published something and you are republishing it without even changing it. The best way to deal with it is basically refer it rather than putting the content again in your next version. And finally, there are other reasons. Simultaneous submissions. What is the meaning of simultaneous submission? Anybody? Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much. Submitting the same manuscript to multiple publishers or submitting the same article to multiple journals at the same time. Now, if I want to counter this, I am submitting my paper to 5 journals at the same time, but I am not publishing in all those 5 journals. I am just checking whether what is my paper is doing. My paper is getting reviewed by 5 journals, and eventually I will pick one. So, what is unethical about it? The simultaneous submission is unethical. And what is unethical? Unethical is basically waste of time, effort, and resource, and more importantly, resource. Resource is the reviewers. Reviewers are the scarcest commodity in this whole industry. It's very difficult to get reviewers. And when you are basically sending your same paper to 5 reviewers through 5 journals, that means you are engaging 5 people for one paper. And that is the biggest crime in the world of publication. Multiple submission. Multiple submission is something which is happening for in case of conferences, in case of special issues. You will find it's a conference happening in Durrës, Alexander Missie University, 39 papers. Out of 39, 10 papers are from the same institution. That is multiple. That is something which is again unethical. I told you in the morning, there are 35,000 conferences per year or 36,000 conferences. If you want to publish your work, it's better you look for another conference and you leave your conference which is happening in your university and publish someone else's work. That is the way to move forward. Usually, people try to organize a conference in their university and try to publish that. Their own papers over there, and that is unethical. Special issues. That is another problem. You will find there is a special issue for a journal, 15 papers, and out of 15 papers, 5 papers are coming from the guest editors only. So these are all triggers and alerts for you whether this journal is ethical, whether this conference is ethical or not. So when you are trying to look for CSMAI next year, see all these 39 papers and where are they coming from. Whether they are in your topic, whether they are coming from single institute, whether they are coming from 2 or 3 institute, or you have a good author spread coming from whole world. These are the triggers which will give you an alert, which will give you indication, okay, this is a good conference, this is a good journal. Plagiarism. What is plagiarism? The answer is nobody loves this word actually, to be very honest with you. Yeah, someone raised their hand. Yeah.
Taking someone's work,
yes,
only changing it a little bit and calling it yours.
Yeah, even not changing at all. And calling yours. This is how, this is something which is inculcated in us from childhood. And we are doing this. When you start copying an image from Google and put your name into it and selling it to people, it's saying very simple, Happy New Year. Just click an image, and send it to people. But we are not doing that. We are downloading some good pictures, clicked by someone else, copyrighted by someone else, and that itself is something which we are doing in papers also. But I said, English is an interesting language. We have synonyms. So we don't use the word plagiarism, we use similarity, we use overlapping, and we create a word where we try to see, 70% similarity is fine. I will take care of that, but 30% plagiarism is. So plagiarism is something which we should not be doing. There is something called fair use. There is Association of Research Libraries. A paper was published in 2012, which you can refer and see what exactly is fair use. Still, I will say don't go for fair use if you are using any content from someone else's work. If you are using any content from your own work which is published before, take copyright back and then publish it again, rather than without doing that, without recognition. I'll tell you how to do that also. Before that, I will tell you how we are alerted as a publisher, how we get to know. Usually, the author comes back to us. They say, my work has been stolen by someone else, plagiarized by someone else. Or sometimes reviewers. They will not tell us it's a copied or not, but reviewers are checking so many work that they get, so there is something fishy about this, and there is a problem. And many times, there are whistleblowers, readers. They come back and they tell us, this is a paper which I have already read somewhere else, and this is the paper, same paper published by author. But we know there is a tool which can identify plagiarism. You know that tool? What is that tool? Turnitin. Any other? Exactly. There are several. Turnitin is one of the first actually tools, and that is why people don't Turnitin. There is Authenticate, there is Localog, there is ample of them. But I would like to tell you, it cannot identify them. It can only throw some numbers which are similarity index numbers. I will quickly tell you why. This is a plagiarism checking tool, Authenticate. We use Authenticate in Stringer. This is how it looks inside. These are the papers, these are the percentages, similarities. See, such a beautiful, colorful paper, but highly plagiarized, so you cannot use it. So why I am saying this, some tips I would like to give. A tool cannot detect all problems. Tool is just giving you some numbers And how this is happening? A low similarity score does not mean there is no plagiarism. So how this is happening, I will tell you. Suppose there are two papers, X and Y. You run them, X gives you 30% similarity and Y gives you 10% similarity. Just by looking at the number, you know X is more plagiarized because it is 30%, Y is less plagiarized because it is 10%. But you have to go a little deeper with the human eye. A subject expert can look at it and say, okay, this 30% is coming from 30 different sources because it's just a matching, and 10% is coming from single source, or maybe in introduction part, maybe the result methodology. So 10% becomes more problematic than 30%. Important to look at the individual score. Suppose X and Y both have 30% similarity. Now, when both have 30% similarity, again you have to look at it from the perspective of a human expert. And you might find that this 30% coming from 30 or 30% coming from 3. So 30% coming from 3 is more problematic, so look at the single score. Setting a standard is usually problematic. How to use the tool then? If 10% is more problematic than 30%, how to use it? Usually we tell people, when you are using this tool, any similarity which is less than 20%, you quickly go through the percentages, similarities, and check anything is there more than 10% individual score or not. If it is there, then you can check it. Otherwise, you just send it for review. Anything between 21 to 40, send it back to the author for revision. Anything beyond 40%, that means already 40% content is available and the author is trying to replicate that. So it's a problem. Only publications by participating publishers. Now the issue is whatever is available online can be checked by tools. Whatever is not available online cannot be checked by tools. Correct? Common phrases are not excluded. Suppose you have already common phrases are used, you have already taken permission, but still tool is not aware of it, that you have taken a permission, right? They are going to highlight that and you will find your similarity index is high. Again, a subject expert or a human eye can basically decide whether your work is plagiarized or not. Patchwork plagiarism. This is also called salami publication. You can find more about it by going to your best friend. Self-plagiarism, as I already said, self-plagiarism is something where you can go and check if you have published anything. See, one thing is very important here, your style of writing is not going to change. Your style remains same. Don't try to change your style by using AI. This is what people are doing right now. They are using AI for paraphrasing again and again and again. So eventually you are getting rid of similarity index, plagiarism, but the style of writing has completely changed. It's not yours anymore. And that is a big issue with AI. Help you can take from AI tools. Help like grammatical checks. Help like spelling checks. Help like scientific checks. But again, the content which you are is getting generated by AI, it's a problem because there are non-scientific words or nonsensical words are getting into your work which you are not able to understand. Because I will tell you, if you take two different subjects, political science and computer science, political science papers are written in a very different language than computer science. But when you are using AI, AI is randomly going and taking things. So it is putting those words which are in political science article in your computer science article. And that is basically non-standard words which are used, and that is a problem. And another problem is hallucinating references. It's a big issue. In 2025, more than 110,000 papers were just found with hallucinated references. That means they don't exist. That means if that paper is published, first mistake done by author. They have not checked those references. Second mistake done by reviewers. They have not checked those references. Third mistake done by publishers. They are not checking. That means it is passing every stage and reaching to a stage where the paper is published, where there are references and these references are non-existent. They are fake. They don't exist at all. So you have to be very careful in using AI tool. I am saying that use AI tool, but don't be a tool. And always use licensed tool. never use tools which are not licensed. Because if you are using tools which are not licensed, that means you are training the tool. You are giving your original work to the tool and you are opening your work to everyone. Tomorrow your content will be published by someone else because AI will fetch that. So this is how you are training the tool and you are facing those difficulties. But don't paraphrase your work, keep your own style. Data fabrication and falsification, I already said. General advice is when you are using verbatimly, you are copying something from somewhere, please give recognition, please cite the name of the person, please take permission if it is a paragraph, if it is an image, if it is a table, if it is a... So if you don't know how to take that copyright back, it's simple. Don't write to the author, I will tell you how to do it. This is a chapter which is published on Springer. Or for all chapters, for all conference papers, for all journal articles, you will find there is a link on the homepage of your published paper which says reprints and permissions. So go to reprints and permissions, easy. Go to this page and you can take back permission for reuse of your content. It's very, very easy in digital world. Some terminologies I am just introducing to you. Go back, learn more about them, try to find more data. Starting with this side, have you heard Scigen papers? Anyone? This was a tool developed by 3 MIT students in the year 2004 in US. They wanted to show the world that papers can be produced, created by a machine that is called Scigen. Later there is a math gen also started, math gen creating math papers, Scigen creating computer science papers, fake papers. Each sentence is correct, sentence to sentence, there is no meaning. Now, if this paper is getting published, it very well tells you that there is no review in the process. And they wanted to show the world that there are reputed conferences, there are reputed journals, they are accepting Scigen papers. Correct? Then you have robo-writers, which are LLMs nowadays. Predatory journals, journals which are not good, journals which are not engaged in any kind of review. They are called predatory journals. Easy way to look for it, there is a list called Beall's list, B-E-A-L-L-S. If you find a new journal, if you find a journal which is actually suitable for your work, go to Beall's list and check whether it is available or over there. If it is listed over there, that means it's a fake journal, it's a predatory journal, don't publish it. Then you have paper mill, citation manipulation. Paper mill and citation manipulation is usually done by senior people. They know how to play around with equations. They know how to, it's like, I have a paper. My area is totally different from Siddhartha's paper. Siddhartha Bhattacharya is doing something else. He is my friend. I just put his name. So that he will put my name in his paper. So we are creating a factory of paper. That is called paper mill. Then you have tortured phrases. Very interesting. Started in 2019 with the beta version of robo-writers. Tortured phrases means like you are basically changing the phrase in such a way that you are not caught by any tool, plagiarism tool or something like that. How? Suppose you have a paper on smart city and you are using that word or you are copying some content from a paper or many papers from smart city. And very intellectually, you are changing this word smart city to brilliant. So you are fooling the tool, but it's a tortured phrase. There is a website called Puppeer, P-U-B-P-E-E-R. It's a very interesting website. If you go to Puppeer, you will find many cases like this, and you will find what all tortured phrases are being used, especially in computer science, like random forest. People who are in CSE, they know the word random forest very commonly. Random forest is used as random wood. Smart city, I told you. So these are like common things. Now another thing has happened. A paper generated by AI, you put it on another tool for humanizing it, and you humanize the paper. Once it is humanized, again you will find non-scientific, non-standard words and phrases. Research integrity is something which we are very investing so much into it. We used to have some 20 people working with us for 20 years ago. Now we have a team of more than 600 people, and we are recruiting every day because this is an area where we have to really work hard. Interestingly, if you look at this pie chart of 2024, this is the area where we have got maximum problem, and it is image irregularities. I will give you a quick example. Suppose I want to say this whole Adriatic Hotel is next to Adriatic Sea, right? Now, if I want to change that thing, I say, okay, Adriatic Hotel next to Sahara Desert. With a lot of people, thirsty, looking for water, create an image. AI will create an image for you. How these images are created? They have just taken the image from different images and they created that image. Similarly, the content is also getting created by AI similarly. So there is no novelty in that content. The content which is already available is coming from there and your actual content is getting diluted and diluted every day. Similarly, there is an issue with this image irregularity. So plagiarism is not the biggest issue. If you see, the biggest issue is image formation, and all AI tools are making a lot of images nowadays. Please be aware of that and also be aware of that. This is a training which you can do freely. You can promote to your students in your institution also. This is a simple thing. Just log in and register for free. It's a research integrity and introduction. This is something which you can just take in your free time, and this will give you a lot of information. This is another course about research ethics, and I feel and I believe that research ethics is very, very, very important. You cannot survive in publication industry if you don't have ethics. And interestingly, I don't know whether you know this or not. Yesterday only I was discussing with Dr. Bhattacharya. Archive, you know archive for preprint? Archive has said if your paper has any hallucinated references or irrelevant references, you will be banned by archive for 1 year. So that means even indexing bodies, even the archiving bodies are actually trying to ban you if you are doing anything unethical. Quickly, in a couple of 2-3 minutes, I will tell you about author services and publishing tools, and I will end my presentation. Very interesting tool developed by Edans, a Japanese company. This will help you to find a journal for your work. It's a tool which will help you to select a good journal for your work. You just have to go to this particular Edans website, put some keyword and abstract of your paper. If the abstract is ready, usually abstract gets ready at the end. So use keywords which are important keywords of your research area, not the keywords of the whole domain. Then the search will be different. Then you say search. A list of journals will come, and this list will come from almost 28,000 plus journals by good publishers. They are listed there, and you will find 10 or 12 journals which are basically suitable for your work. Similar thing we have in Springer Link, but this is only for 3,500 journals what we are publishing. This is again same thing, journal finder. You can use that for finding journals. Reviewer finder. Nowadays, when you are sending your article to any journal, they are asking you to give some names of some reviewers. 3 reviewers or 5 reviewers, please. They are not going to send your paper to those reviewers. They are just building reviewer base so that they can send someone else's paper to those reviewers in the domain. Interestingly, this is a tool where you can find reviewers, but I find this tool more interesting in a way because you can find people who are working in your area, and those people you can collaborate with. It's more like a networking tool rather than a reviewer finding tool. This page, if you go to springernature.com, under services, you will find a lot of information. I always tell people if you have 15-20 minutes each day, you can go, you can read those things at your own pace, then it will be really beneficial. As I said in the beginning of my talk, reading is the most important thing. More you read, better you write. More you read, better you understand. More you read, your critical and analytical thinking improves. Share it. This is a tool which we have developed basically for sharing your work. Now I have published a paper and you cannot download that paper because your institute is not subscribing to that journal or subscribing to this particular domain or subject area. But there is a possibility that it can be shared. Anything which is published in Springer You can share it with anybody. Just you have to send the link of that paper to them. Share it later. It works in a reverse way. If you are trying to download something and you are not able to do that on Springer website, write to the corresponding author and get that thing. I know there are unethical ways to get things. You guys know Sci-Hub, right? So don't use Sci-Hub. Use legal and ethical way. ORCID ID is the most important ID for unique recognition. If you do not have an ORCID ID, please have ORCID ID because the whole objective of publication is basically to get cited, to get observed, and your work get distributed correctly. So citation will happen and your H-index or many other parameters will go correctly if you have a correct unique ID. Because you may have a very common name and that name, there's a possibility that the same name you have 2 or 3 people in the same institute, and then it becomes more and more difficult for a digital tool to even cite your work correctly. So if you have a unique ID, it will be done unique. This is a page which will give you a lot of information, and this is basically publishing policies, editorial policies, book publishing policies, more importantly, research data policies. Data is very important, and open access publication policies. So if you go to this particular page over here, not flashing such policies, you will find all these details. OA funding support. As I said in the beginning, open access is basically funded by funding bodies and sponsors. You need to find those funding bodies, write to them. The worst answer is no. But in many cases, it will be yes. And I am a true believer that if you are asking again and again and again, after some no's, there will be a yes. It's impossible that yes is not coming to you. So you have to ask. People who are interested in writing small books, faculty, senior people over here, they can start with this. Springer Briefs. Very small book, 55 to 125 pages. Maybe you are working on your thesis, maybe you are working on a paper, journal article which is 100 pages. You cannot publish 100-page journal article, but there is a possibility that you can do this. Copyright remains with author so that you can use the content again. Quick publication, cutting edge research is published in this area. Books for references. Before I conclude, I will tell you about some books. Please buy them or try to find the previous version edition on internet. You will find them. How to write and publish a scientific paper written by Robert A. Day. Very useful. This is 8th edition, 9th edition is already out. 8th is freely available. So you can go, and these are all reference books. Whenever you need, you can go and check them and read them. Getting it published. This is written by a publisher himself, William Germano. It's basically a glossary for all kinds of publishing words, which will help you to understand the publishing industry. This is a textbook written by Sanalu, used in many countries. A fantastic read about research ethics. This is another book written very recently, I think 3 or 4 years back, about scholarly tools, because I have just not even showed you 0.001% tools. There are so many tools, and you can use these kind of books where you will find. There is another book which is very important, it's not here, very easily available, very old book, The Elements of Style, written by White and Strunk. Very cheaply available nowadays, 100-year-old book, but the style has not changed. Read that book, understand the styling style, the elements of style, and keep your own style. Don't change your style. Don't go to AI and be a tool to AI. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, I'm here for the next few hours. You can come to me, as I said before also. I will be very happy to discuss things with you. If you have any queries, I will give. If you go back, use these tools, use all these things, having difficulties, having suggestions, want to collaborate. This is my email ID, anurag@springernature.com. Very happy to address at that time. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much. So, Mr. Bosa, it's your turn now to receive your token of appreciation from Professor Ayesa. Please, I would like to invite you both on stage.
It's very close. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for your patience. Now it's time to have lunch, recharge your stomach, your minds, and come back for the results.
Ciao Robertini, sì.